Hey, what's up, YouTube? I am here today with a birthday haul, and I am very excited to share some books and bookish things with you. The first thing that I'm going to be telling you about, I'm going to start with the beautiful, amazing presents that I got over this last weekend for my birthday. Um, the first thing, which I freaked out when I saw, was a little free library that my dad made and built for me. And it's going to be something that I can put outside of my house and the neighborhood can enjoy and like borrow a book or leave a book, and people can just exchange books to read it. And I'm very, very excited for when I get this set up outside. It's going to be really fun. Next, I have a little sign that my mom got for me with an inspirational quote about teachers. And then I have a new tote bag that says Hogwarts is my home with the Hogwarts castle on it that my nephew actually got for me. He's so sweet. He spent his own money when he was shopping on a family vacation for a present for me. And I just, oh, so sweet. And then last but certainly not least, I have a really fun sign that's got signs pointing to Hogwarts and Narnia and the Shire and all kinds of fun magical places. So if I have done editing correctly, there should be pictures of these items over this shoulder as I talk. Let's cross our fingers it all goes well. Alright, and now I have a book haul because for myself, I let myself go on Book Outlet and buy some more books. I know I recently did a Book Outlet haul. I have another one. I got 15 books and I ended up spending 30-something-ish dollars, which I mean, it's amazing. So let's dig into the book, shall we? All right, first up we have the Dollmaker of Cracow. This is about a real-life doll. Her name is Carolina, and she lives in the world of dolls. But the king and queen have been deposed, and there's like a hostile takeover. And somehow Carolina ends up in Poland with this mysterious man who is the doll maker. And he is quite a mystery himself, but the two of them actually end up making friends with a violin-playing father and daughter. So they have this group of 4 friends. And so seemingly all is going well, and then the Nazis invade Poland. Carolina and the dollmaker know that their new friends, who are Jewish, are in serious danger. So they're going to try to help them. So this is kind of blending fantasy and history and all kinds of fun things to create one story. And I am very excited to read this. It is by R.M. Romero. Up next we have The Secrets of Solace, and this is by about a girl named Lena who lives in a place called Solace, and I'm actually going to read the dust jacket to you. There are 3 books that I'm just going to be reading directly from the book instead of summarizing in my own words, and I'm choosing to do that because I don't know if I can do a better job summarizing than what's written here. So, The Secrets of Solace by J. Johnson. Here we go. Lena Winterbuck lives in the mountain strongholds of Solace. She's an apprentice to the archivists, the wise men and women whose lives are dedicated to studying the objects that mysteriously fall from the sky in the scrap towns. Lena should be spending her days with books, but the Iron War has changed everything. The strongholds are now a refuge, and the people Lena once counted on no longer have time for her, so she spends her days exploring. The strongholds are vast and old, with twisting paths, forgotten rooms, and collapsed chambers. And in one of the forgotten chambers, Lena discovers a secret. Hidden deep in the cavern is a half-buried airship like nothing she has ever seen before. She's determined to dig it out and restore it, but Lena needs help and she doesn't know anyone she can trust with her secret. Then she meets Osmond, a mysterious boy who has a secret of his own, a secret that's so dangerous it could change the course of the Iron War and the world of Solace forever. Very intriguing, plus the cover is very pretty as well. Hopefully that will be an excellent read. The next one I picked out is The Forbidden Orchid. And this is about a girl named Eliot. She lives in England in 1861. And her father is a plant hunter, meaning he hunts down rare and valuable plants for other people. And he has been given the task to find this particularly rare and valuable orchid, and it's found in China. But her father fails to do this, which lands him in debtor's prison and is going to send the girls to orphanages and workhouses, that kind of thing. So Eliot tries to convince her dad to go back to China and to take her with him. And if they make this journey, how is she going to adapt from very solid Victorian England culture to a mysterious and adventurous place like China? All right, up next we have, oh, I should have mentioned The author of this book is Sharon Biggs Waller. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, next we have Murder Among the Stars by Adam Shankman, and this is part of the Lulu Kelly Mysteries, and I don't know if you have to read these in order, but I'll tell you what this one's about. We have Lulu Kelly, who is a rising starlet in Hollywood, and she's been through some stuff already, which I'm presuming happens in the other books, like being framed for murder and those kind of things. So she loves to solve mysteries, and she is invited to go to this house party at Hearst Castle, which is basically going to be a house party / audition between a lot of young Hollywood actresses competing for the role of a lifetime. And when a rival actress is found dead under the dining room table, Lulu has to discover who the murderer is before she becomes a target herself. This seems like just a really fun murder mystery that's not too serious. Up next we have an interesting book. This is called Romantically Disturbed, and it is a collection of dark romantic poetry. So I thought I'll just open it up and read one, and I just happened to flip open to this page, and the poem is titled Love is a Monster No. 4, Love is a Vampire. One night, one bite, in sink the teeth, and boom, it's doom for you. It's in your skin, and the flesh beneath. You're caught, you're got, you're through. Ta-da! So, Romantically Disturbed poems. I am very excited to read all of the poems in this book. This book I got just because with my OCD, you've heard me say this before, I have to have multiples of 5 when I order from Book Outlet. Don't know why, I just do. And I needed a 15th book, and I saw this. It is an illustrated edition of The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and it is the classic story of Mary Lennox, who is an orphan who goes to live with her uncle, and she meets Colin, her cousin, who is in a wheelchair, and they discover the secret garden and so on. So it's a story we all know and love with illustrations, and they are manga-style illustrations, and I'll see if I can find one for you. That's weird. That's a creepy guy looking over the hedge. Come on, find me a good picture here. Okay, so here's one. We can see some of our characters there, just so you can see that, yes, there are illustrations in this book. Next we have Crenshaw by Catherine Applegate, and this is probably one that's familiar to a lot of people. It is a middle grade book, and it is about a boy named Jackson. He and his family have fallen on hard times, and they probably are going to have to go live in their minivan again. And they're not super excited about this. And then here comes Crenshaw. He is a very large and imaginary cat. He is a good friend of Jackson's, and he's come back to help Jackson. But is an imaginary friend enough to save this family from losing everything? We shall see. Next we have Macbeth, #KillingIt. This is from a series that's called OMG Shakespeare, and it takes Shakespeare stories, and it also, they've also done this with Pride and Prejudice and some other classic stories as well, but most of them are Shakespeare, and it tells them through texts and emojis and chat room pages, etc. So I thought I'd just open up to Act 1, Scene 1, and I'll show you. You can see that we have a texting conversation with our 3 witches. Which one says, when do you witches want to meet up? In the thunder, in lightning, or in rain? Which 2? When the hurly-burly's done. When the battle's lost and won. Which 3? Right before the setting sun. Which 1? Location TBD. Which 2? Upon the heath. Which 3? There we'll find Macbeth. Hee hee. Which 1? Gotta go. My cat needs kibble. So it's just a fun way to experience a Shakespeare play without having to read all of the Shakespearean language and dive deep into the meaning and the iambic pentameter and all of that fun Shakespearean stuff. All right. Up next we have The Only Game by Mike Lupica. This is about a boy named Jack, and he's in a town where baseball is everything, and he feels like baseball is his calling until the day he quits. None of his friends understand why he quits, and we don't know exactly what happens, but Carl Hyacin in his blurb says this is a story about fighting back after tragedy. So I'm afraid that something really bad happens to Jack. Oh, that makes me sad. his friends are really upset because they really need Jack. This was supposed to be their year. They were going to go to the Little League World Series and win everything, but they don't have Jack. Luckily for Jack, there are two kids that seem to want to be friends with him. We have Cassie, who is a softball player, and she doesn't care if Jack doesn't play baseball. And then we have Teddy, who's kind of the bullied kid in school, and those kind of kids always need new friends. So Cassie and Teddy are hopefully going to be there for Jack as he's trying to fight back from his tragedy. Now we have Thorn Abbey. This is another one that I'm going to be reading, The Dust Jacket. This is short, but here we go. It says, Becca was the perfect girlfriend, smart, gorgeous, and loved by everyone at New England's premier boarding school, Thorn Abbey. But Becca's dead, and her boyfriend Max can't get over his loss. Then Tess transfers to Thorn Abbey. She's shy, insecure, and ordinary, everything that Becca wasn't. And despite her roommate's warning, she falls for the brooding Max. Now Max finally has a reason to move on, except it won't be easy. Becca may be gone, but she's not quite ready to let him go. Dun dun dun! This one, to be honest, I was attracted to because the title was Thorn Abbey, and I had been watching Downton Abbey. But it has nothing like Downton Abbey, and that's okay because I'm in for a little ghostly mystery story, possible paranormal romance-ish thing. We'll see what it is. Alright, this is the last one I'm going to read directly to you. This is The Replacement by Brenna Yovanoff, or Yovanoff, I'm not sure how to say her name. This says, Mackie is not one of us. Though he lives in the small town of Gentry, he comes from a world of tunnels and black murky water, a world of living dead girls ruled by a little tattooed princess. Weird. He's a replacement, left in the crib of a human baby 16 years ago. Now he's slowly dying in the human world. Mackie would give anything to live a normal life, play his bass, and find out more about an oddly intriguing girl named Tate. But when Tate's baby sister goes missing, he's drawn into the underworld of Gentry known as Mayhem. He must face the dark creatures of the slag heaps and find his rightful place in our world or theirs. Dun dun dun. So he's basically like a changeling, right? That's when the fairies come and steal the baby and leave another one in its place. Now these next two books, I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I grabbed books that were not the first in a series. Why? I don't know. I think this first one, I didn't realize it wasn't the first one, but I think it's actually the second one. This is Juniper, Princess Juniper of the Anjou by Amy Joan Paquette, and this is at least the second, if not third, book in the series. This is about a girl named Princess Juniper, and all I know is that in this portion of the series, she has to try to save her father and the kingdom, but in order to do that, she needs to recover a bunch of stolen horses. So this is her adventure and journey to regain those stolen horses. The other one that is not first in the series is These Vengeful Souls. This is the third in the series. The first one is These Vicious Masks, and then These Ruthless Deeds. And I don't really know a whole lot about what goes on this series because, stupid me, like did a cover impulse purchase and ended up with the third book in the series, and I don't know really what's going on. I know that it takes place in 1883 in England, so we're looking at like that time period, and we have a character named Evelyn or Evelyn who really wants to be reunited to her friends and to get revenge on somebody evil named Captain Good. That's about all I know. I wish I could tell you more. Perhaps I'll have to hunt down the other two and read them in order so I know what the crap is going on. Alright, two more books. I have Jessie Eliot is a Big Chicken. This book is not traditional in the way that the text is laid out. I'll show you what I mean. We have lots of drawings. And so we've got some text like you can see here, but it's like in handwriting, and there's lots of doodles, and then we've got pages like this where it's just bubbles of information. So my middle schoolers are really going to like this because they love any book that looks like it's going to be shorter than normal. And it seems like a really fun story. The idea behind it is really cute. Jessie, it's her last summer before high school, and so she feels like once high school starts, she can't be a nerd anymore. She wants to be cool, but it's more fun for her to be uncool. So this is going to be her last summer of being uncool, being nerdy, doing goofy things with her best friend. But then something strange happens. Her best friend suddenly gets a new best friend who is a cool kid. How is that going to work out? So Jesse's got to figure out how to deal with this new situation. And last but not least, we have Worlds of Ink and Shadow by Lena Corley Coakley. This is something that I'm really intrigued by. This is about the Bronte sisters. There are 4 of them, and they live in a parsonage very isolated out on the moors. And so they have their imaginations to keep them entertained and allow them to escape from this very isolated world. And so they imagine all these wonderful far-off places and these fantastic heroes and wonderful characters. But Branwell, who is one of the sisters, is starting to descend into madness. And the sisters feel like their real lives are slipping away. They need to weigh the cost of their imagination even as their characters refuse to let them go. So it's really interesting to me to think about real life authors being fictionalized in this way, and I'm just really excited to read it. So yeah, I feel like I've said I'm excited to read it about every single book in this haul, but that's what happens when you're a book nerd. You're excited to read pretty much anything. So there we go. So that is my birthday haul / book outlet haul, and I hope you all are having a wonderful and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.